All right, kids. It's time to put down the Alka-Seltzer. It's time to put down the bacon and the eggs. Hopefully, you're getting some grease to get you over that Friday night, Saturday morning hangover.
Well, you wash down a half a dozen aspirin with that first sip of coffee.
But that's what we're here for. It's Dr. Kev and Dr. Dave.
So wake your ass up!
Your Saturday morning hangover cure is here. It is time for Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. We have got a special guest today who is going to join us after segment one. Dave's son, my nephew.
The oldest, the con man.
So we're going to give you a little bit of different perspective, younger generation perspective on some of these things, the movie, TV, and streaming stuff. And he will participate, whether he likes it or not, in Dumbasses of the Week.
Yes, as we play the epic game show, Dumbass or Not. And there's a lot of dumbasses this week, kids.
But first and foremost, what do we always start with, Dave?
Rock, baby! It's the music segment.
And we are starting off with a rarity that has been re-released. Most of you probably do not know about this. I barely remembered this when it was announced. The Starfleet Project.
What the hell are you talking about, Uncle Kev?
We're going back to the 80s, where Brian May, guitarist of Queen, pulled together a couple friends of his just on a lark.
Yep. 2-day recording session.
Spurred on by his son.
Yep. Said, Dad, you need to record Starfleet. What the hell, Starfleet, you say? It was one of those stop-action puppet shows.
As he said in one of the interviews, like Thunderbirds.
Like Thunderbirds, like Stingray. It's Japanese in origin. It was X-Bomber in Japan. It was Starfleet in the UK. And his son loved the theme song and wanted Brian to record it. So this is what we get.
He pulled together basically a rock and roll supergroup, which included Alan Gratzer, drummer for REO Speedwagon, of course, Brian May on guitars and vocals on a couple songs, and
the great
Edward Van Halen. This is what pulled me in. This is why I said we have got to look at this because of the recent release. I believe the 40th anniversary
40th
release.
Anniversary. This is just something, a fun little project May decided to do. Pulled these guys into the studio for a couple of days, just dinking around and jamming.
Yep. And God help you if you actually indulge in the box set where you get 8, 9, 10 different takes and versions of the Starfleet theme. But we are limiting ourselves to the one CD release, which involves the radio edit of Starfleet, the full version, the other two songs that they did, Let Me Out, which is more of a regular structured song.
Yep.
And then Blues Breaker, which is a long,
almost a 13-minute instrumental blues
tribute to Eric Clapton. It basically is what it is.
Yeah.
If you listen to the interviews, which follow after, because you get interviews with Cynthia Fox, and then you get, of course, the great Bob Coburn from Rockline back in the day. And they do a really good job of editing these interviews so they're not overly long.
Right, it just breaks it down to the basics.
Right. Then you get some live tracks with Brian May, not with Eddie, but with a group of friends of his, not the Starfleet people, doing a live version of Let Me Out, and then a couple different versions of We Will Rock You. Then you get at the end the complete version of Starfleet after you're introduced at the beginning to the radio version. So this is not your typical album. Let's put it that way. This is more of an EP, and that's what it was intended to be.
Yeah, it's just a fun little a fun session of guys just getting together to screw around.
It's really 3 songs.
Yeah.
It's the first 3 songs. It's Starfleet, it's Let Me Out, and it's Blues Breaker. Now, I will say this. The complete version at the end of Starfleet is the best because Eddie gets to play around. Eddie gets to play on the complete version of Starfleet. The complete
Eddie's solo in that one, you can't describe it. You have to listen to it.
Right.
It is just insane.
Yeah, the radio edit for Starfleet takes so much away from what this group was doing. And then you get to the end where they give you the complete version.
And that's what should have fully been released because
that's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
It knocks it out of the frickin' park.
Right.
This cheesy little theme song for a kids show, when the rock gods get their hands on it, it's fun.
And they don't have to pare it down for radio.
Yeah, where they can just go balls to the wall with it and light it up. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Let Me Out I would have been interested. Now, let me bounce this off of you. When I listened to the first couple songs as it's laid out, the radio edit of Starfleet and then Let Me Out. Number one, the shorter version of Starfleet, all I'm thinking is Flash Gordon.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a Flash Gordon rehash.
Right. And I'm thinking with that and Let Me Out.
Let Me Out, it's Queen.
I was going to say, I wanted to hear Freddie Mercury singing those 2 songs.
Yeah. That would have topped them off. That's the only thing that could have made them better if it was Mercury on vocals.
Right. But they're still fun. They're still okay. And I loved the differing guitar styles. You could listen to Brian May's
more structured,
operatic.
Yeah.
And then Eddie, his free form at times. Now, the thing with Blues Breaker, which goes on very long, like 12 minutes.
Almost 13, 12:51.
Right. Is that I don't need to hear Eddie Van Halen trying to be Eric Clapton. I want to hear him be Eddie Van Halen. I want
Eddie to be Eddie. Fuck Eric Clapton.
And of course, unfortunately, Eric Clapton was one of Eddie's big guitar influences. But again, at the end, when we get that complete version of Starfleet, that's where it all comes together. They saved the best for last. That final version where it's not as cheesy as the radio edit.
Right. It's just a flat out, they have fun with it, and it's great.
And then if you listen to the deluxe edition, which I happen to dive into a little bit, I swear to you, the first take on Starfleet, Eddie starts playing Top of the World.
It kind of sounds like it, yeah. I agree on that.
You can hear little snippets and segments throughout the different takes
where he's playing around with maybe I've got something here.
These are little riffs that he ends up incorporating later on in Van Halen. Yeah. I'm telling you, the first one is Top of the World. About 10 years before the actual song came out.
Yeah, no, you could tell he's playing around with different ideas that he's got.
Right.
Because throughout that deluxe 2 hours, whatever it is, they've got the little 30-second to 1 minute little jam things that they do that you can hear snippets of what they're playing around with for future songs.
Yeah. Yep.
From everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got to take it for what it is. I'm not saying this is great. And for Dave and I, it's probably a little more meaningful because we're bigger, hardcore Queen and Van Halen fans. I'm obviously not going to buy the box set, but I did buy the single disc edition because it just, with Eddie being gone, to be able to get a little bit of that.
Something different that you haven't had before.
That Eddie vibe that I don't have in my collection. I had to have it.
So, but if you want the full thing, it is on Spotify.
Right.
You can go through and hear the whole thing, and the interviews are really damn cool.
Right. And I loved, great that you brought that up, because again, this is what makes that complete version of the Starfleet song at the end of the initial disc, the one disc version, so cool, is that Brian May in one of the interviews says, we tried to stop it twice and Eddie wouldn't let us. And I know at least one point listening to it today where I was like, yeah, right there.
Right there.
They wanted to stop
stopped,
right there, and Eddie keeps
just
going.
kept going.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the unbridled fun that back then that Eddie was having before he got into the drinking and the drugs with the Sammy Hagar era is evident here.
Yeah, this is at the time where Eddie was pure. He enjoyed what he was doing. Nobody was reining him in.
Yep.
He had fun.
He was in love.
He didn't have the stupidity of Dave trying to take creative control of different things.
They were on their way out. Yep.
They were on the way out. He didn't have Sammy coming in and trying to bring his ego with all the stuff. Eddie was Eddie, loving music. Yep. And it came through.
Yeah. And so that's why, again, this was a very exciting release for me, is to just hear that part of Eddie Van Halen that we haven't heard in 40 years.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not a fully fleshed out album. It's really a 3-song EP with additional stuff thrown in just to make it, fleshed it out a little bit. So I can't give it a huge positive rating.
Well, no.
I don't even know how I can rate it. I would say it's probably a weak 2.5.
Yeah, that's about right. But it's enjoyable.
But again, it's not a fully fleshed out. It's an EP at best.
It's guys having fun.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
And enjoy it for what it is.
Right. And considering the fact that next week we're probably going to review Disc 2 of Autumn, we'll take the enjoyment where we can get it.
Yes, we will.
But we have better stuff for next week, which we'll get to in a few minutes. We do have one song.
We have a couple songs, don't we?
I couldn't get one of the songs. I couldn't find it.
Which one?
Which one do you think? No, you're not talking about the Barbie song.
Oh, I found that.
I couldn't find the Barbie song!
I had to go to YouTube to get it.
I couldn't find the Barbie song!
I'm just Ken.
No.
That's fine. We'll try. It wasn't on frickin' Spotify when it came up.
I couldn't find it on Spotify! That's what I'm saying! I was frustrated.
Spotify fucked us up.
What the hell am I doing? I'm spending 20 minutes trying to find a song about Ken! What the hell am I doing with my life?
I got it on YouTube. You're not missing much.
Even with Slash and Wolfie?
You're not missing much.
Right.
It's a poppy, stupid kids movie song.
And they're saying that movie's probably going to make $150 million.
Why?
I don't know, Dave. I have no idea.
All right. Well, we do have Living It Up from Paul Rogers.
Right. Now, that one I reviewed a couple weeks ago, but I thought you would like that.
But I did enjoy that one. This, to me, was the blues version of ROCK in the USA.
Yeah, it does have that
it's
in
the
terms
homage,
of the lyrics. Right.
It's an absolute homage to the great blues singers and artists.
Well, and how he kind of talks about he was born in Great Britain, but the USA is kind of his home now. And
yeah. So musically, he was drawn to what the U.S. had. I kind of like that piece. It wasn't as epic as Mellencamp's ROCK, but it was good. I'll give it a solid 2.5.
That's about where I fell to. Yeah.
So
Still, again, no, just not a silver, blue, and gold type of song.
No, it wasn't. Damn it. So, and then we move on to the Struts.
Right.
Too Good at Raising Hell. I got to hear it first live, and I will say the recording of it was a disappointment.
Oh, so the live version was much better?
The live version was much better. This is more poppy. Live, they rocked it out more.
Very good perspective.
So
Because I thought it was a little poppy.
This was way too poppy the way they did it on here. The recording, it doesn't hold a candle to hearing it live, where they put more into it. It was a little harder, edgier,
Right. Yeah,
much more enjoyable.
And that's the thing. When I listen to this, I thought it was a little too, like you said, too polished, too poppy. There is a great song in there somewhere.
Yeah, it doesn't come through here, but live, it works very, very well. Two totally different songs.
See, I was going to say this is the ultimate 2.5 frenzy song. Yeah. This is like perfect 2.5 frenzies. It is not what I hoped it would be, but is still a very serviceable pop rock song.
It's a solid 3, borderline 3.5 live. Because when we heard it live, it's like, oh, this new album is going to be awesome. And then hearing it here, it was kind of a letdown.
So you give the studio version.
The studio version's a 2.5.
Right.
Live version is a solid 3, borderline 3.5. Because they kick it up a notch live.
Very good.
See, that's why you need to go to live shows, kids.
So as I mentioned, next week for an album review, maybe we'll dive back into Smashing Pumpkins Disc 2, because we were in that dead zone before Mammoth 2 comes out, which will be our next big album review.
So, which we will see.
There are, according to Big Story this week, for me at least, on Ultimate Classic Rock on YouTube, 25 unreleased Van Halen songs you can find on YouTube right now.
Really?
Yes. So check that out on ultimateclassicrock.com. And this is not counting the 7 songs, which they, of course, in the story point out, the 7 reworked early songs that appeared on A Different Kind of Truth.
Interesting. May have to go back and do some investigative listening.
Yes, I will as well. So, for next week, yes, we're talking about autumn. We've got to somehow prepare for the concert coming up. So, Disc 2, Act 2 of Autumn. Of course, next week we will have a review of Foreigner and Loverboy live.
Woohoo! Live music, baby.
As 6 straight weeks of concerts
begins.
The Festival of Rock 2023 begins. But we have some other songs to review, too.
We do.
We have new Dirty Honey.
I got to hear it on the radio the other night.
Won't Take Me Alive.
We will give you our full review on that.
New Alice Cooper as well, with Tom Morello guesting on guitar. White Line Frankenstein.
Ooh, interesting.
And of course, personally, to me, the best of the bunch, The third single from the Hives, the death of Randy Fitzsimmons, the song Rigor Mortis Radio. And of course, it is the Hives, so you know it's
going to be good.
It is damn good. I've already listened to it
Connor,
half a dozen times.
Listen to the Hives. You will not be disappointed.
So that should do it for the music segment. So that means that our guest star, our studio guest, Connor will have to jump in here for the last couple segments.
Yep, as we talk movies and then TV and streaming and dumbass or not.
America's favorite game show here on your weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. He's Dave.
He's Kev.
We will be right back. She walked into my office just as I was reaching for the bottle in my bottom desk drawer. Legs till Tuesday, lips like pillows. I want to hire you, she said, to find Sports Frenzy 2.0. Doll, I said, that would be the easiest case ever. Sports Frenzy 2.0 is on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, everywhere you listen to podcasts. She nodded to herself, sat down and smiled. I grabbed 2 glasses. Life was good. And so is Sports Frenzy 2.0.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get your buttered popcorn, kids. It's time for the movie segment of Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, recording July 19, 2023, dropping Saturday the 22nd. We know your hangover's ebbing away. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
And I'm the maestro Kevin Crane. And if that talk of buttered popcorn doesn't get you over your hangover, we don't know what will, other than talking about movies.
Yep. So we're going to get you set up here on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple, Overcast, CastBox, and Stitcher for a few more weeks.
So sad. Still so
sad.
Literally, we might have to have a moment of silence. Well, that'd be a rarity here. That's good podcasting right there. A moment of silence on a podcast for Stitcher when they leave us on August the 29th.
That was our hook. But alas, it's movie time.
Well, do you want me to start off with the crappy new movie, or do you want to give us...
Go with the crappy new movie, and then I can do the movie book double review.
Because I've already seen the movie.
You've seen the movie
and I
already.
loved it. So, all right. Let me give you a little backstory. Not story time. That'll be coming next week from Uncle Kev. But we get together with our Sports Frenzy panelists for the regular sports edition every Thursday morning on Spotify and all the places Dave mentioned. And I believe when I was talking to Aaron, the Big Easy, we discussed the fact that a movie called Infinity Pool was going to be debuting soon on Hulu. Now, let me preface this by saying, if you have ever heard of David Cronenberg, the director, if you're from say it.
He's special.
Say it. He's fucked up.
He's fucked up. He's fucked in the head. The man is twisted beyond twisted.
This is the man that gave us the movie Scanners, where people's heads were blowing up. Michael Ironside's head blew up. And that was like his highlight in his cinematic resume.
Yeah, otherwise the dude is just twisted.
Very, very, very weird stuff that comes from the mind of David Cronenberg. So why would you think in the Hollywood world of nepotism, his son's work would be any different?
Oh, God.
So now we're 2 movies deep, I believe, into the career of one Brandon Cronenberg with Infinity Pool, which is on Hulu right now, if you so choose to watch this piece of absolute crap!
No, Nick Connor, we do not subscribe to Hulu.
Now, I will say this. This is why it will not go down as the worst movie of the year or the worst movie of all time, because there is an interesting plot thread in there that if it would have been in the hands of anybody else, a retarded chimpanzee, it would have been a better movie. But because it's in the hands of one of the Cronenberg family, it's a weird, bizarre, perverted piece of garbage. So let me give you the premise, so the retarded chimpanzee out there can steal it and make it an Oscar-winning movie. Couple goes on a retreat to a resort on a remote island. Of course, the country is unnamed.
I saw the previews for this piece of shit.
And of course, they're not getting along all that well. He's a failed writer. She's been bankrolling him along with her father. And he gets sucked into this bizarre culture on this island where if you commit a heinous crime, if you're rich enough, you can pay to have a doppelganger made of yourself, and the doppelganger will be executed and you can continue to live. But you've satisfied the requirements of justice on the island. And of course, the way they make the doppelganger is they put them in this infinity pool. Now, in theory, that could be an interesting sci-fi movie. Again, retarded monkey
of a retarded monkey versus an idiotic, sick, twisted Cronenberg who has no talent.
I think that becomes a term now. I think if you are a sick, twisted individual who just comes up spewing stupid ideas, we start calling you a Cronenberg.
I think that's apt. Don't be a Cronenberg.
So let's say maybe the first 35, 40 minutes of the movie are mildly interesting because you're like, maybe this could go somewhere. And then, of course, they have a drug-induced psychedelic orgy. And, of course, that sounds awesome. Orgy. Who doesn't like a good orgy? Well, when, weird stuff is squirting out of the nipples of one of the women, you're like, okay, the Cronenbergs can even make an orgy unsexy.
It wasn't even milk.
That was like a worm.
Oh, for the love of God.
Like she squeezed her boob and a worm came out and some guy ate it.
Is this supposed to be like a mushroom?
Again, yes, they are freaking out on drugs. This is where, of course, the movie went completely down the crapper. And then you've got Mia Goth as the female lead, who was in a movie I reviewed last year called X. And she has got to be the most, bear with me here, the most unattractive, sexy woman in the world. From the neck up, she is creepy. She's not ugly, she's creepy. But man, from the neck down, she's working it. She's doing okay. Although I don't need to see little worms coming out of her nipples. This is the thing. The Cronenbergs can figure out a way to make orgies unsexy and mildly disgusting. Right?
It's a talent.
So then it turns out that the lead character gets stuck in this cult group who get off on doing this whole let's kill somebody on the island, get thrown in jail, and get executed. Oh, wait, we're rich, so we can just buy the doppelganger over and over and over again. And then the question is, are we real? Are we doppelgangers? How do we really know? Oh, my God, isn't this really, kind of cool and esoteric and deep thinking. It's like, no, it just sucks. I wanted the movie to directed by Retarded Monkey instead of directed by Brandon Cronenberg. Again, I will actually be generous here because, again, there is a nugget of a decent story in there. I will give it a weak 1.5 frenzies. But again, the worms out of the nipples.
That just ruined the whole thing.
I mean,
come on.
It's just too much. It's just too much. I can't deal with that. I'm scarred for life now. What am I supposed to do? Anytime I see a poster of Farrah Fawcett, I'm going to see worms coming out of her nipples. You've ruined my life, Brandon Cronenberg. Thank you very much for Infinity Pool. Kiss my ass. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. There you go.
You have a much more positive review.
I do have a hell of a much more positive review. So, a few years ago, little movie came out starring Ryan Gosling, has Chris Everett, Ana de Armas, The Gray Man. CIA assassin gets caught up in a world of crap. Based on the book series by Mark Greaney. Having read the book first and then watching the movie gave me a really solid perspective overall. The movie, loosely based on the first book. So, in the first book, he's already working for the network. He's been burned by the CIA. He's done a job, has repercussions with a global enterprise who wants his head to satisfy the bloodlust of an African president because the brother was assassinated by the Gray Man. And so they kidnap the family of the guy who the Gray Man works for to try and get him to come in. And all hell breaks loose with 12 different kill teams trying to keep him from reaching the compound for the ultimate showdown. In the movie, we have the Gray Man, the character who sets him up with the CIA is the name of who he's working for in the book as the outside organization. Slightly different. They merged two stories into one, which actually didn't work out too bad for the movie. So Gosling plays it great.
He's awesome.
He is
Gosling
phenomenal.
Awesome.
And so you have him. It's a mission. He's supposed to whack someone. Turns out he's trying to whack another CIA operative who's got the dirt on a rogue group within the organization. And so he gets the goods on him. They're trying to take him out. They get the guy who recruited him and his granddaughter holding him hostage to get him to come in to trade it. Basically, it's all the kill teams trying to take him out on his way. So they merge fairly well. The book is still better, but the movie, of course the book is going to be better. But the movie is great with Gosling playing the Gray Man. Chris Evans playing Lloyd, the evil D-bag enemy. Evans, when he plays a bad guy, psychopath, is phenomenal. He nails it. And the two opposite yin-yang of the characters in the showdowns is great. They do such a good job. Cortland Gentry is a character for the ages. They need to do more movies of the Gray Man. I would love to see it. So I will give the movie a solid 3.
Which is what I
Frenzies.
believe I gave it initially. Yeah.
Yep. And I will give the book a 3.5.
And I told you I wanted to start reading those books.
Yep. I had to pull the trigger because
That's
I
fine.
have to kill some
That's
time
fine.
until you get to.
I know. God help me, I know.
So, no. The Gray Man is one of those great characters that is going to go down.
Let me ask you this, selfishly. Okay, you watched recently The Nice Guys for the first time.
Yes.
And now you've seen is Ryan Gosling not one of the best actors in Hollywood?
Oh, Ryan Gosling is fantastic.
And you go
Why
back to,
are you wasting his talents in this stupid-ass Barbie movie?
You go back to Drive. He was awesome in Drive.
Why did you have him in La La Land?
Yeah.
You are wasting him in these
He's going to be the fall guy.
Movies.
He's coming up in the
He's
fall guy.
the fall guy. Another perfect role for him. I cannot wait.
Ryan Gosling is so droll. I mean, he's such a good-looking dude, but I think we can all relate to him in terms of his attitude.
Yeah, he's just like...
He's just laissez-faire, a little bit sarcastic, you know.
He's going to
roll off my back. I will do what I have to do.
Yeah. No.
I just love him. I love him.
So, kudos for The Gray Man, the movie, and the first book. I look forward to continuing the series.
Yes. And at some point, I will read one of the books when you've already finished the series.
There you go. Because I read 400 books a year, I have to find something to keep me occupied.
That's a slow year. No, 400 is a slow year for you. Come on, Dave. Don't sell yourself short.
I haven't hit 100 yet. So there you go.
This month?
In a year. I've almost gotten 80, but not quite.
Some miscellaneous stuff because we got to pack in as much as we can to set up segment 3 with our guest, the con man, in the studio, Connor, as he will join us for TV and streaming and an epic edition of Dumbass or Not. So let's get everything else out of the way right now. Of course, we have the writer's strike going on. Now we have the SAG-AFTRA strike. So that means the writers and the actors are all on strike.
Which means you don't get anything new.
Unless you get a waiver. There are certain movies that are getting waivers, but
some are going through. They're so damn close. It's going to be a long damn fall, winter, spring.
And you're not going to like this. The latest movie, production halted on Deadpool 3. So we have not heard a delay in the release date yet because they moved it up to early summer because of all the other Marvel movies that got pushed back.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath.
Just wait.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Disney is I knew this ever since Disney announced they were taking over Marvel. I knew they were going to fuck this over. I knew it.
We talked about it ad nauseum.
Years ago. We knew this was going to happen. And it's been worse than we could have imagined.
It's been epically bad.
All right. My 2 entertainment world badasses of the week. You should be ashamed. You forgot to remind me last week about one of them. So I have to bring him up now 2 weeks late instead of 1 week late.
At least you get it in.
That's what she said. And sometimes hit and miss.
Where did it go in?
Which hole? All right. First one, I don't think you guys will have a problem with. And this is kind of a shocker. This is not somebody you would normally associate with the maestro in terms of somebody I would like, somebody I would back, somebody I would give kudos to, somebody I would praise. Dave, when I say hard rock songs that I hate, what is the first one that pops into your head?
Oh, God.
Recent. Within the last 10 to 15 years. that ring a bell?
Yeah, you are not a fan of Disturbed.
Except in this case! Disturbed's frontman, Dave Draymond, at a recent concert a few weeks back in Tel Aviv, finally had the balls that Eric Clapton, Tom Morello, none of these other kiss-ass sycophants in the music world have had the guts to do. He called out Roger Waters.
Good
all
for
the
him.
bullshit he's been pulling, walking out with these pseudo-Nazi outfits on his recent tour. Oh, well, it's parody. You don't understand. You haven't listened to The Wall. You haven't watched the movie. You don't understand what I'm trying to do here.
Roger Waters, you're a piece of crap.
You're an anti-Semitic piece of crap. And Dave Draymond, who has a Jewish background, called you out in Tel Aviv and basically went on a profanity-laced rant in the essence of fuck Roger Waters.
Amen. Hallelujah.
He's a liar. Roger Waters is a liar. He's a piece of garbage, and good for once for Disturbed. It's the only time you'll ever hear me say anything good about Disturbed. This is it. Mark it down, kids. This is it.
And in a month or so, you're going to get a review of Disturbed in concert from me, the Conquistador.
Not from me. Not from me. No. You would have to stake me to the ground and open my eardrum.
I should drag you to Disturbed for you making me go see Dave fucking
get down
Matthews.
with the sickness. Get up, get down with the sickness.
It would serve you right for making me go to see Dave fucking Matthews.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal right now.
I'm not going to fucking Pearl
God
Jam.
damn it! If I go to Disturbed, you go to Pearl Jam.
I
If
went
go
to Dave Matthews.
If I
Jam's
go
the
to
same
Disturbed,
damn
you
thing.
go to Pearl Jam.
No. That
Dude,
would be 2-1 in your favor. That would be 2-1 in your favor.
Okay.
No.
Do I have to go to
No.
another one? Tell me another concert I have to go to.
I am not going to Pearl Jam.
Dude,
End
I
of
told
freaking
you it's
story.
sold out. Tickets are going for $800. Don't you want to go?
No. I don't care about Pearl Jam. Never have. Never will. No desire. End of story.
But you're going to go, wah!
Exactly. That's something I enjoy.
Wah! God, you somehow turned my positive story into a negative. Thanks a lot, Dave. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
And plus my vocal cords hurt now trying to do that wah 15 times to prove a point. And I still think you're wrong. You should still go see Pearl Jam.
Screw Pearl Jam. Who's your second
You've
badass?
already paid for it. It's
I
free.
don't care.
It's free.
I am not wasting my life like I did at Dave Matthews. I don't like them. I will not waste my time.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Here's the other, in my opinion. Now, I bounced this off some people at work today. And they gave me very different, dare I say, opposite viewpoints on this one. But I am calling Miranda Lambert a badass.
Yes, she is.
You and I are the only ones that feel this way. Everybody else. Because if you have not heard the story, kids, and we've got much more coming up in the third segment when it comes to country music controversies. Miranda Lambert at a recent show in Las Vegas stopped the show playing her song Tin Man because there were a group of 40-somethings posing in her eyesight, her sight line, with a staged selfie. They wanted to get her in the background. And
Just stop
she
the
stops
selfie
the show.
bullshit.
She stops the show and says, "How about we just pay attention to the music? I'm playing a goddamn country song up here. Let's pay attention to the music."
You came to see a show. People came to see a show, see me sing. They don't want to see your stupid asses posing for a damn selfie.
Okay, so why is it you and I see this one way? Maybe generational, but why is everybody else telling me Miranda Lambert's being basically a nasty bitch.
She is trying to make the show enjoyable for everyone instead of these narcissistic asshats who are trying to take away the enjoyment from everyone around them.
And here's the other thing that people seem to forget. And I noticed a couple people, when I read the story, in the comment section actually made a good point. We're missing the middle part of this. We're focusing on Miranda Lambert, and we're focusing on the narcissistic bitches taking selfies. What about the other fans? How many people did they tell? Well, could you please move over a little bit? Could you please?
Yeah.
Don't mind us for a minute. The camera's going to be in your face for a couple minutes.
No.
While we
fuck
take this
you.
picture.
No. I am not being a part of your shit. Do not ruin my experience for your bullshit.
See, now I forgive you for Pearl Jam a little bit. Because you are the only
concert
one that sides
etiquette.
with me.
There's concert etiquette. And the assholes who attend concerts today don't get it.
I can't tell you. At least 3 times. At least 3 times. And you probably know 1 or 2 of them.
The patchouli stinking bastard at Roger Klein up in Kalamazoo.
But with cell phones in particular.
Yeah.
When they are right in front of you and then their phone goes right up and it's blocking your sight line. And there's nothing you can do other than go tap them on the shoulder. Go,
move your fucking phone.
I want to take that phone and not throw it at the performer like a lot of these other idiots are doing.
No, you throw it towards the back or you just throw it on the ground and stomp the shit out of it.
There you go.
Or shove it up their ass.
Now, if you would just go to Pearl Jam, I would have a lot more respect for you. I've got some respect for you now because you agreed with me on this.
No Pearl Jam.
God damn it, Dave.
I do not like them. I never have, and I am not wasting a couple hours of my life.
You have to admit Even Flow is an awesome song.
I don't like Even Flow.
Oh, how do you not like Even Flow?
Never have.
Even I like Eric Clapton doing Sunshine of Your Love. And you know I hate Eric Clapton.
I'm not going. End of story.
I still got a month to work on you.
There's principalities involved.
I still got a month to work on you.
No.
I still got a month. You want me to burn you a CD?
No.
Greatest hits?
I'm good.
My greatest hits for you?
No, I don't care.
All right, I'm telling you.
There's a couple of songs I like.
Tickets are going for $800.
I'm
and
not
you have a
going.
Free ticket.
I don't care. I don't like them. Never have.
But you're going to go see the guy.
Exactly.
Twerking like a gorilla.
Yes, I like that. I don't like Pearl Jam. Never have, never will.
I'm going to be stuck in a crowd of 15,000 people by myself because my best friend won't go with me to go see one of the greatest rock bands of all time.
Why would you?
In the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But no, you won't go even though you got a free ticket.
Why will I waste my time being miserable?
And I would go with you to go see Disturbed because that's the kind of friend I am. I would go.
You owe me for Dave Matthews.
There was nothing wrong with Dave Matthews.
Sucked.
Your wife liked Dave Matthews.
Not that much. It sucked.
You poisoned her against him.
It sucked. It was the worst fucking concert of my life.
It wasn't that bad.
It was awful. I hated every damn minute.
At the Star Plaza in Maryland.
I would rather recreate that night than listen to Dave Matthews in
concert. The only reason you say that is because we sat there for 2 hours across the street at Hooters drinking beer. That's the only reason you say that. Otherwise, the show itself, you would take Dave Matthews over Cheap Trick.
No, I would not. I did not like anything about the show.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Not even the company? Not even the people who love you you're hanging out with?
Did not make up for the 2 hours plus of suffering through that crap.
You got to tell people you saw a Dave Matthews Band.
Begrudgingly. As I tell people, it was the worst fucking concert. It was the longest damn night of my life.
Fine. Okay. That's fine. Even flow.
Even
Thoughts
flow
arrive
this.
like butterflies.
Anyway, moving on. TV
It
and
is
streaming
time!
after the break.
It is time for the moment you've all been waiting for.
The Con Man's debut.
Dumbass or not, and a little bit of TV and streaming. Is going to be a fun 30 minutes here, kids. The last segment's going to be jam-packed. We will be right back after a quick promo break. And more talk about Pearl Jam.
Screw you!
In the fortress of solitary justice, two brave men hold the fate of the sports world in their hands, with the utterance of a single word: frenzy! These seemingly ordinary men become the maestro and the conquistador, destined to save the world from stupidity on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all noble podcast hosts everywhere. Dave and Kev stand for truth, justice, and the frenzy way. All right, kids, welcome back to the third and final segment here on the Weekend Edition Sports Frenzy 2.0, taping here on July the 19th. This, of course, will hit as your Saturday morning hangover cure on July the 22nd. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's a maestro, Kevin Crane.
And who the hell is this sitting in between us?
The Con Man.
That is Connor.
My oldest sitting in, joining us as a special guest.
He is going to chime in on some of the TV and streaming stuff we're going to be talking about and partake in America's favorite game show, Red Foreman's Dumbass or Not.
We've got an epic version for you this week, kids.
Yes, we have 6 or 7 at least contestants. Some from the SAG-AFTRA strike, some from the country music world. Be interesting to see if, as we get the younger viewpoint here, the cranky old men might have to bow to the younger generation. Although normally he sees things the way we see things. So.
Yeah, so it's not quite fair.
Yeah. We've brainwashed him already.
Yes, we have.
All right. With TV and streaming, you know how it goes. We just kind of talk about what we've been watching. Although I know that these two hooligans have a full review.
We do. We have the final season of Jack Ryan from Prime. Only 6 episodes. Very short. Short but sweet. But I will have to say the very end was very generic. And it was kind of a letdown.
Unsatisfying.
Very much so. This one, there's upheaval within the CIA. We're entering congressional hearings to anoint a new director, and Jack is supposed to be up for assistant, and under questioning asked about the previous regime and can they not do things and whatever, and he's like, no, I can't guarantee anything. I don't know what the other one did, so I'm out. I'm going to go find out what's going on. Whatever. So he's trying to decipher what secret ops the previous CIA director was up to. And we're introduced to Chavez, a hitman who was working as part of the unauthorized deal, who, great character. So you got something going on from Myanmar through Mexico up into the States. What top secret thing are they trying to do? What nefarious terrorist act is coming down? So you got Jack and Mike November and Chavez and Greer trying to get to the bottom of things. And Jack's girlfriend gets kidnapped in a ploy to suck him in, and mass chaos takes place. And of course, things wind up working out. What's your take?
Up until the generic ending, I thought it was a great season. I just wish it would go. I wish the show would continue.
See, that's the thing. You do not need John Krasinski as Jack Ryan to go forward. I don't know if it was him wanting to end it, but they actually had a solid cast of characters around him that if they wanted to continue a storyline along this, the characters are there. The world is there. You don't need him. He was everybody else was more engaging and more exciting and fun in this world that they had created. I can only give this season a week 3. I mean, it was well done, but a week 3 because it was so short and the lame generic ending.
The thing I worry about with Amazon, and of course you guys know I love Reacher beyond belief, but in The Boys. But what show has Amazon really committed to beyond 4 or 5 seasons?
You really
That's
haven't
what
gotten
scares
anything.
me about
they
them.
They go 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Because I think even with Bosch, we only got 5 seasons.
Right.
But
Bosch is a
then
good example.
They went with Bosch Legacies on
Right.
Freevee,
Right.
not even on Prime. And it's been a year and a half, and we still haven't had season 2, which is supposed to be released this fall.
Yeah, this is what worries me about them, is that it takes Amazon forever, number one, to get seasons out. Now, the turnaround for Jack Ryan was pretty quick.
Yeah, this one
it's a short season, like you said. But it's taken forever to get the second season of Reacher out. It's taken forever to get The Boys out, the new season now, with the spinoff.
Yeah, when is that coming?
Well, I have news on both Reacher and Gen V. Amazon has put out a little teaser trailer for all their shows coming up in the next 6 months or so. Reacher season 2 will hit in December.
Ugh.
Again, too long. What, almost
Way
2 years
almost
after?
2 years.
And then Gen V, the spinoff from The Boys, hits in September, a lot further on than when we were promised.
Yeah, this is like almost a year behind what they were talking about.
Right. In other programming news, The Con Man, big fan of The Walking Dead. Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will debut on AMC on September the 10th.
You have that date circled, don't you?
I do now.
Get your phone out, put it in there.
Why don't you tell the people real quick how you're liking the new one, Dead City?
I actually haven't seen it. I've just heard very good things about it.
So when are you going to begin?
I don't know.
Have you got it DVR'd at least?
I do not have it DVR.
Oh, come on!
I didn't know when
You're
it was
killing
starting.
me, Smalls. All right, as Dave mentioned, when we botched our first attempt at this segment,
we have Justified.
City Primeval, which is going to screw everything up because it is going to air on Tuesday nights, which is the night before we tape.
But it airs so late, we're not able to watch it.
We're working people! People!
I could do it, but nobody else would be able to.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Especially
this first week when they released the first 2 episodes.
Right, which I still don't understand with the writer's strike, with the actor strike. Why the hell are you burning through all the episodes so quickly?
1 a week would be perfect on here.
So, of course, we will catch up. Your reviews will come a little bit later than you would like, But of course, each and every week, we will review City Primeval. And
the vampires are back, baby.
I did watch the first 2 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, season 5.
The Mall, A Night Out with Friends.
Why isn't Guillermo turning into a vampire?
Or turning so slowly.
But
I have a theory.
There is yet another show. Again, summer is now the best season for our favorite shows. As we tape here on the 19th, it is not aired yet. That would be tomorrow night, the 20th. As you listen to this on the weekend edition, already aired, the return of Tacoma FD on True TV. The boys from Broken Lizard are back. First episode hits. You've already missed it. Sorry, kids. Hits on Thursday, July the 20th. Along with, what are we going to watch? We're going to watch SRX racing, or are we going to watch Tacoma FD?
I am going to watch SRX and then thoroughly enjoy Tacoma at a little bit later date.
All right. We're feeling, of course, the effects of the strike. CBS is already panicking. They have pulled in the big guns in anticipation of the strikes lasting, the writer's strike, the actor's strike. They have figured out a loophole in their contract with Peacock. They are going to air Yellowstone starting in the fall. Sunday nights, starting with season 1.
Well, there you go.
On Can't Peacock, wait to see how much they have to edit out, including Kelly Riley.
That's the whole point of watching, is Kelly Riley in all her glory. Literally.
Oh, that's glory, man. That's glory.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is. She's pretty. Very pretty. Peacock finally has decided $5 a month is not enough.
Nope, the greedy bastards.
So they've upped their base plan to $6 a month. Their premium plan up to $11.99, which is a $2 increase. But Netflix might be the biggest bastard of the week when it comes to streaming. They have eliminated their premium with ads plan. So either you get the base plan with ads or you pay for the no ad plan. There is nothing in between.
It's all or nothing. We told you these greedy bastards with the streaming services were going to start overcharging, and it's going to be damn near more expensive to go this route than to have cable. We told you it was coming. They've overextended themselves.
And of course, the big thing that's coming down the pipeline is, what are you going to get when ESPN pulls out completely and goes as a streaming service on their own?
You know it's going to
collapse
there.
Cable. It's going to collapse YouTube TV. Now, this is kind of the a la carte model we've always wanted, but in a very twisted, bizarre, weird way.
And it's getting to be pricier than it ever should be.
I still won't buy into what you're saying about it's going to be more expensive than cable. I'm not paying for all the boxes. The minute you're telling me I'm paying for boxes, unless it's a stripper in Vegas, I am not paying for a box. All right, finally, wrapping up TV and streaming.
Hey! Sunday, July 23rd. Shark Week starts, baby! Tune into Discovery for new stuff.
Whatever.
You got nothing new to watch on regular TV.
I got one more episode left of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which just aired tonight as we tape. Again, another 8-episode season. Again, another short, ridiculously short season.
Is this one lined up to be a good one or a dud?
Good one, because last week they went bowling. That was the big thing. They went bowling.
So again, it's up and down and up and
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. The only funny scene in last week when they went bowling was a couple of their mortal enemies are running the bowling alley and wouldn't let them put chili on their fries. They were not allowed to have chili cheese fries. So somehow Danny DeVito puts chili in the holes in the bowling ball and is dipping his fries in the holes. And then, of course, he has to go up. It's his turn. So he rolls the ball and it's dripping chili all the way down the bowling alley. That was kind of funny. Gross, but funny. So next week, I will have my full review of the 8-episode season 16 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
They've shortened from what they used to be, didn't they?
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course, like everybody else, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one moment of silence. Daniel Goldberg. We have to give props, thoughts, and prayers because this is the man who was not only a producer for The Hangover, but co-wrote one of the funniest movies of all time, Stripes.
Army training, sir.
That's the fact check!
Have you been doing those special exercises I taught you?
Do you need a waffle treatment? Oh, Stripes, so good. I need to watch that again. So thoughts and prayers to Daniel Goldberg's family. Always love it when we've got somebody who actually contributed to good comedy.
Yes.
Because it is so rare. They are so few, so far between. I have a feeling next week, though, we might have some comedy to discuss. Maybe some old school comedy. Maybe story time.
Could be.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
It is
boys
time.
And girls. Ryan Seacrest is not here. This is the one game show America loves that he does not host. That rat bastard.
This is all us.
It is a tradition on Sports Frenzy for 30 years. The Red Form and Dumbasses of the Week, but now we have taken it further. We're greedy bastards just like everybody else. We franchised that. We've expanded. We've turned it into a game show. It is time for the Red Foreman Weekend Edition, Dumbass or Not. My contestants today, of course, the reigning defending champion. That would be one, Dave, the Conquistador Height. And then our newest challenger, his son, Connor, Conman Height. Boo, old school rules, millennials suck. Boo.
Oh, I was going to do the cricket sound.
Your goal is to agree or disagree with what we have come up with in terms of, are they dumbasses or are they not? And you have to have legitimate reasons if you dispute that they are not dumbasses. Number one, Disney.
Dumbass. Oh, wait, that's automatic, isn't it?
Disney kind of sort of confirmed that their latest live action adaptation of one of their animated movies has gotten rid of dwarves. Yes, that would be Snow White.
Yep, you're going to have regular sized people.
Pictures leaked from the set of Snow White and the Magical Creatures, working title. The pictures show, number one, I believe, Hispanic Snow White and a bunch of miscreant 7 mismatched PC, black, white, short, tall, fat, skinny people. Maybe one was a dwarf. Maybe
Probably not. Snow. What are they going to call them?
Then the magical creatures. They're magical creatures.
Oh, they're the magical creatures.
Yes.
Good
No.
God.
No, not what I've got between my legs. That's a magical creature, but a different type. Here's the best part. The pictures leak, and Disney initially says they were fake. They're fake. That's not true.
Oh,
They're fake.
bullshit.
Then they backtrack later on and say, well, when we said they were fake, we meant they didn't come from us.
Yeah, uh-huh.
This all stems from Peter Dinklage.
He's an angry elf.
He's an angry dwarf, yes. Who bitched and pissed and moaned on a podcast saying, oh, isn't it ironic that they cast somebody who's not white as Snow White, but they're keeping the dwarves? Such a disparaging term. So, of course, Disney, as
And
they
all
always
their
do,
PC
caves.
checkbox bullshit.
So, gentlemen, are Disney dumbasses or not?
Disney's
for getting rid
always
of dwarves.
Disney is always a dumbass.
So you hate dwarves? That's what you're saying. Little people.
No,
don't
we
like
like
little
little
people.
people. We want to see the little people get their chance.
I have to point out the irony in this because you guys are right. People actually called out Peter Dinklage for saying, hey, dickhead, thanks a lot. Now you just cost 7 little people in Hollywood
a job
jobs.
because you're an egotistical prick.
He is. He's a jackass. So I'm 1 for 1. Thank you very
Yes.
much. This is just personal. We referenced this earlier. We talked about Spotify. This past weekend, I wanted to listen to some Van Halen. I wanted to listen to the last album, Different Kind of Truth. Spotify has pulled A Different Kind of Truth.
What?
The album is not available anymore on Spotify.
Fuck Spotify.
I believe only the 2 singles are available.
That is a dumbass move.
Dumbass.
How do you pull a Van Halen album
You don't.
off of your music service? How do you do that?
That's sacrilege.
How do you do that?
That's
I
sacrilege.
had to actually get on Google and check. Am I just losing my mind, or is A Different Kind of Truth not on Spotify?
That's just wrong.
Stupid. Stupid. All
Two
right.
for 2.
Now everything else is going to be either strike news or country music news. Let's start with the strike. Fran Drescher, otherwise known as the nanny to our generation, who is actually the president of SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, as they go on strike. As they prepared to go on strike last week, Fran Drescher, of course, when negotiations were getting really tough and intense, ends up over in Italy with Kim Kardashian at a Dolce & Gabbana show, schmoozing for the cameras, when, of course, we're just days away from a big Hollywood strike. And when asked about this, she says, and I quote, walking in heels on cobblestones is absolute work.
Idiot.
Dumbass.
And you want to tell me the people in Hollywood and California are so much like us? They understand the common person.
They are so damn out of touch, it's not even
walking
funny.
Walking in heels on cobblestones. Oh, it's absolute work.
No. You're an idiot. Dumbass. 3 for 3.
Okay. The idiot Hollywood picketers of both the Screen Actors Guild and the writers. This is a 2-parter. Number 1, they got mad. I believe it was outside of Universal Studios because Universal Studios did something very clever. The picketers were using ficus trees outside of Universal Studios for shade. Universal Studios sent out a bunch of tree trimmers to trim these ficus trees. So, of course, they had to complain to the city and say, oh, we're gonna have to investigate. I don't think they had a permit.
So what?
Then the city goes so far as to set up a blockade on the street next to Disney Studios to make it easier for the picketers to walk from one block to the next.
No, that is bull crap. Why should the people be put out of their way to accommodate the picketers? Absolute crap.
This is why I hate unions. I'm sorry, I hate unions. This is the kind of accommodations that they get.
That's frickin' California for you.
Yeah.
That's the dumbassery of Hollywood.
Yep, pretty much. So have we missed on anything yet?
No.
Are we still doing good?
Nope, we're still doing good.
All right, we got 2 left, and they're both in the world of country music. Now, of course, we earlier talked about Miranda Lambert. Shockingly, Dave and I are the only people on the face of the earth, it seems like, who think she's a badass for calling out selfie takers in the crowd.
Stop ruining shows for everybody else. You are not important.
But it gets worse. Now, you might not know this song, Connor, but this is of your dad and I's generation. Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. Remember that song?
Yep. Good song. Great song.
Country star Luke Combs has redone it, has recorded his own version. Big hit. He's being criticized because the original artist, Tracy Chapman, being a black queer woman, would never have gotten the opportunity on the country charts that Luke Combs gets as a white male.
She didn't put it out for the country charts.
I find it ridiculous. This criticism, absolutely ridiculous.
That's absolutely stupid. She's got plenty of credit.
It was a huge hit for her.
It was a monster hit. It doesn't matter what chart it was on.
Pop chart, country chart.
Who cares? It was a huge freaking hit for her.
And so now
this criticism is absolutely stupid. Whoever said it is a complete and total dumbass.
Because again, he's not black and queer and he's not a woman. So he has an unfair advantage in recording the song and it becoming a hit.
It's a hit on the country charts. It's not as big as what she had on the pop chart. She had it better.
I agree. I'm at a loss.
What the hell is wrong with people?
Oh, it gets better. The last one. Again, staying in the world of country music. This one, very controversial.
Are we talking about Mr. Jason Aldean?
Why, yes, we are, Dave. Jason Aldean has a new hit song called Try That in a Small Town, where he basically has put together a song saying, do not spit on the police, do not treat the police bad, do not pull the crap that you pull in the big cities, because if you do it in a small town, people will take notice and take action. Basically, to sum things up succinctly. Now, of course, people are saying he's condoning lynching. The idiot Sheryl Crow, who should never, ever, ever be allowed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but somehow is, ahead of Foreigner and Boston and REO Speedwagon, to name a few, has said basically this is a lame, pathetic song condoning violence. And guess what, kids? As we tape today on the 19th of July, Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town is the #1 song on iTunes.
There you go. And what is so different from him doing this versus how many hip-hop songs that promote violence?
Against the police, against women.
What,
because again,
what's
it's a
the
double
difference?
standard. This world is full of double standards more than we've ever seen in generations. where hip hop and rap artists can get away with whatever they want.
And
But for
nobody
some
else
reason,
can.
country artists are always dragged through the fire for anything and everything they say. If it involves loving the country, part of his song is "Don't Burn the Flag."
Be respectable. My head hurts.
And on that note, when Dave's head hurts, that means it's time to wrap up the weekend edition. Connor, did I do okay?
Yes.
You think we did okay? So once again, dumbasses.
Dumbasses
Yeah.
reign supreme.
All right. Thank you to Connor for stepping in as a guest contestant on Dumbass or Not. Did a marvelous job.
Thank you.
Very good job. Better than your dad. What a piece of crap he is. Jesus. Kind of guy that won't go see Pearl Jam.
Screw Pearl Jam. They suck.
He's my brother from another mother. He's the conquistador, Dave Height.
That's the maestro Kevin Crane.
And that is it for Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. Next week, some Smashing Pumpkins, some Dirty Honey. Who knows with the movies? Justified, City Primeval.
More vampires, Tacoma FD.
Plenty to talk about next week. Foreigner, Loverboy Live.
Woohoo!
We'll check you out next week, kids. See ya.